Happy Saturday and welcome to the Today's Woman Show. Thank you for joining us again. My name is Renee Q. Boatin. We are shooting here today at the Kempinski Hotel. It's going to be very, very exciting today. Keep watching. The Today's Woman monologue is when we hit the streets and we ask all different kinds of women different questions. Today we are asking, is it really important for a woman to make herself the most important person in her life? Let's hear what women out there have to say.
I believe marriage is between two people, and it's a union between a man and a woman. So when the man and the woman comes together, there must be a concern for both the man and you, the woman yourself. So it must not be something like always thinking about yourself, personal desire all the time. You take into consideration the man's desire, the man's priority, and then as well as yourself. And then when babies come in, then it becomes double wahala. Meaning, now you have dual purpose, dual responsibility. Taking care of your husband as your firstborn, taking care of for the children as well. So it is not all about the female's priority, or their wife's priority alone. You take into consideration your husband's priority. I think that should be first. Then the children comes in, then maybe then followed by the woman. For instance, if you're a corporate woman, a corporate wife, then you have a long way to go. You have so much on your head, so much to do. Taking into consideration your husband, your work, your children, and the family.
We are in a new transition of a new world where ladies need to be independent, fight for their rights, to fight for themselves, to stand as strong women, because in this world as we live in, the world is made of like women. We hold the world together, we hold the families we have, we hold the entire world as a whole. So I believe that every woman should be independent on her own to be able to sustain this world to a better place for us all to live in.
The difference, you have to look at the two angles, and then you see whether maybe putting you as a wife priority first is, let me put it this way, it will be of benefit of you. So you look at maybe if I work not a housewife, yeah, you look it from that angle. If my work will help me in case of any emergencies in the house that I can fall on my work, fine, I will consider that. If not, then I have to put my marriage first. Yeah.
It's not appropriate for a wife or a mother to look for her priority first before the children and the wife, because she gave birth to the kids and then she has to take good care of them first before. So she has to provide the kids' need and then the husband before hers. So far, Ukrune Oma, I took consideration first, because Obawa for the woman say, here, but so far Ukrune Oma first, because we see now fear Neoma atanta de na bibia o mpe wo first. We see si on kra na mabont na like we look beauty outside na ofie basa enye fine. Ti as a woman there so far Ukrune Oma and ofie no first. I like your priority first before you take yourself out.
No, the children priority has to come first before the husband. My reason is, you know, as children, they mean a lot to us. Me, for instance, I have a 3 years old baby boy, and it's like when I get birth, the father didn't. He was like, the child was not for him because he's a boy. So I think the children's priority have to come first before the.
Since it's a relationship, you're working with someone or you're dealing with someone, so you just have to balance issue. as you have your own life, the person has his life as well. So as you're thinking of yourself and however you want to reach or wherever you want to reach, you should be thinking of that person as well, and let it be balanced. That's what I have to say.
Oh, there be as I say, Obano, so to me, you man now support to be man. And yes, Obano, yes, sky, into money, there be also to me support to man. So I mean, say, me, my 5, or we no more university, or we are masters. So says, I be come to me, one make a cracker. It is a man, show my son, as I say, almost to me. And yes, I say, I share a man on our papa, so to me support some colano.
So we shall call him my answer. And son, I will dear neighbor. So when I am, when I wish happy. Yes, I will share. I will show Quadano, and I will call or quite you man. Now I send Quadano, so I feel and I was so out there. And so be a jolly. Now I yet be okay, fine.
No. Your priority cannot come first on the list. That one day. Your children's priority must come first. And that's of your husband before your own.
Choirs and modern singing groups have been associated with wearing of special clothing, the gown. The official garment of clergy also comprises the surplice, which is a white, sleeved blouse-like shirt worn over a cassock, a plain black, long sleeve, and ankle-length tunic. Currently, uniformity of robes have taken hold of choirs. Robes are not meant for only choirs or religious activities, but for academic regalia and doctorate graduates as well. Currently, there are about 4 basic types of gowns, namely clergy robes, choir gowns, academic robes, and judicial robes. In the past, choir robes were more elaborate in design, with each choir using its own specific design. Most choir gowns are available in black, white, cream, and blue. In modern times, choir robes have focused on a few colors, styles, and fabrics. With the introduction of popular gospel choir, the robe evolved again and now available in a multitude of choices. In addition to the choir gowns for members, there is the director's robe and the organist robe for specific members of the choir. Seeing a business venture in sewing of robes, Sarah Yioha Taria ventured into this business. She reveals how lucrative the business has been over the past 2 decades and still counting. At a very tender age, her grandmother saw the talent in her pertaining to sewing and designing. In order not to waste that opportunity, she was enrolled as an apprentice with one Gloria, the daughter of Reverend Tete, who was then the minister of the congregation at the Teshi, a Sabbath of Accra.
After completing school, my grandmother enrolled me to learn a trade since she wanted the best for me in future, so she sponsored me with the help of my mother.
She concentrated not only on robes, but other things such as unisex items, wedding gowns, which she does for a living. She has actually focused on getting contracts from churches, schools, and educational institutions. Sarah sews a minimum of 100 and a maximum of 150 robes per contract. But what challenges has she faced over the years in her trade?
The only challenge I have been encountering is when individuals contract me to sew for them but fail to turn up. Aside that, it has been lucrative.
no many inana gba few.
Choristers dresses in their robes to usher in the minister before a divine service commences. Kids on their graduation days are seen adorned in their colorful gowns depicting academic growth. Wearing a gown on one's graduation gives a sense of fulfillment and achievement of a set goals and objectives.
You're welcome to the Today's Woman Show. Happy Saturday. It's me, Renee Q. Boatin, and I'm really excited. I have Alyssa Safwa-J here with me, who is an architect. You're very, very welcome.
Thank you.
And I have to say, when I saw you, I actually thought fashion and not buildings. Like your style.
I always get that. I think just being someone who has always been passionate about design and the arts, I've just grown up liking fashion, and in the end ended up doing architecture. I keep joking that when I grow up I'll become a fashion designer, so there's still time for me to become. So
many more years to come.
Yes,
yeah, because you're still growing.
Yes, I'm such a child, aren't I?
Well, now you're talking about growing up. How did you grow up, and how did that interest for architecture develop?
I was born and brought up here in Ghana. And I think, even from a young age, my aunt actually says she has a memory of me. She used to run a shop in Makola, and apparently my mom and I used to go there, and I think I must have been maybe 3 or 4, and apparently there was some cloth, and apparently I said, bolero. How anyone, a child at that age, even knew what a bolero was, I don't know, but she keeps telling me now just to embarrass me. But anyway, I schooled here. I went to Wesley Girls. In those days, you couldn't do sciences and arts.
Yes, you had to choose
and
either.
I was one of those who was very good at science and math, so I did science and maths, and I ended up in the UK. My dad moved to the UK when in early 80s, so I followed, and there was opportunity to actually add art to
your science.
Yeah. Yes. So leading up to that, I think I decided I was going to be an architect. I think around age 10, 11.
Really?
Yeah.
You understood what it was, or what did you think it was for you to make that decision? Was it the building?
It was more the building.
What is architecture? Let me ask.
Wow, okay, what is architecture? Architecture
I'm asking this because a lot
of
people sometimes confuse it with interior design.
Okay. In its most basic form, it's how you create a comfortable space, really how you can sleep comfortably, you can eat, you can work comfortably. So in creating this comfort, you're keeping off the sun, keeping off out the cold, keeping out the rain.
So the environment comes into play, everything.
Yes. Okay. And then once you get into the interior space, it's having comfortable textures and materials that are durable, that are sustainable. So it's all about.
So the construction.
All of that. So it's like your immediate space. Initially, it's just your immediate space. You want to make sure that you can sit comfortably and work for a couple of hours without worrying that the sun's hitting me, I haven't got enough air, etc.
Okay.
And then obviously this is on so many different. It's a lot of work.
So, and you said at the age of 10.
Yes, but
so what were you thinking?
No, my dad had a house built, and I think that's where I caught the bug. And when I was considering architecture at secondary school, I was considering the subjects. Not the subjects, my career path. I actually, at one point, wanted to be a pilot.
Okay.
I think I was a bit of a tomboy. So it was a case of I wanted to be the first female pilot. I'm sure there were others before me, but I just wanted to do something that was different, not very girly. So then architecture came to mind. And then I remember my dad saying that, do engineering, you'll always have a job as an engineer. But I thought engineering was just going to be so boring because I had that artistic side to me. So in the end, architecture really became the marriage of the art and the physics and math that I was also good at.
So maybe that's what makes your, that's probably what sets you apart, because you have all those.
I guess, yes.
Yeah, because you've got quite like a fantastic, like I'm reading like all your achievements and all of that, and it's amazing. You've done such. And that's what's making you today's woman.
I guess, yes.
You've achieved so much.
Thank you.
And it's probably because you have all these other dynamics you're putting
together.
I
guess there are lots of facets to, but then it's lots of facets to everyone though, surely.
Now, growing up, living in Ghana and then moving to the UK, what was that like for you?
To be honest, it was the summer of '84. I knew I was going, probably not coming back, but there was no trauma involved. My dad was already there with my 2 older siblings. My mom didn't go, so it's just my dad and my sister and brother who were there. And I was enrolled in a girls' school. Having been to Wesley Girls before, my dad wanted me to go to a proper girls' school. So initially, there's a school in Westminster called Grey Coats, and one of his friends' daughter, who had also been in Wesley Girls, was at Grey Coats. So it's like, okay, you go to Grey Coats, and I was like, all right then. But then that fell through. So I went to another girls' school, and actually I'm now recalling, they couldn't place me to do sciences. So the placement in a lower sort of setting. And in the end, my dad was like, I was actually really bored. I lasted there about a month, and I moved to a local comprehensive, which is a mixed school. But it wasn't so different. I guess maybe I found myself in an environment where the kids were quite friendly. The syllabus wasn't that different. My accent was different. I got teased a bit because of that. And being Alice, there's some boys used to tease me singing some
Alice in Wonderland.
Not even that. It was some song of like Christopher Robin. It was quite rude. I won't repeat it.
No.
But yeah. No, but
did it affect your confidence?
No.
Your self-esteem?
No, I don't think so. Because I was doing the subjects I wanted to do. The friends I made, they were Indian and Pakistani girls who were very clever.
Very, very intelligent. They usually are.
Exactly. So I fell into that small group. And we were who we were, we weren't like popular. But
yeah, very
I think all my life, I've never
and
really been one to, I'm always sort of on the fringes, I'm not boring, but I'm not like the most popular. I'm always sort of flitting. I have geeky friends and I have really popular friends. Yeah.
Now you studied architecture in the UK, and you lived and worked in the UK for about 30 years.
Yeah, nearly.
Nearly 30 years. What brought you back to Ghana?
Okay, so after secondary school, went to University of Nottingham, then went to UCL, Berkeley School of Architecture. My first job was with Foster & Partners. Foster's now, I think, is still probably top 3 in the world.
Wow.
And it was, sometimes I always say it was luck, but people say these things aren't based on luck. But friends,
I prefer blessings to luck.
Okay, yes, I'll take that. Yes, thank you, blessings. And ended up there initially as a part-timer. We actually went to be there for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And then we were there. Some people left. There was a group of us from the Bartletts who went there. And in the end, about a year later, my boss was like, she says, oh, do you have a contract? I'm like, no. She goes, oh, so do you want to stay full time? I'm like, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so then he's like, okay, then I'm like, oh, I think maybe you should actually interview. I felt that needed to be some formality. Thank you. Then he said, oh, okay, then, well, I know your work, so just go to personnel, tell them that.
That is not luck. That is divine connection.
Wow.
That is a blessing.
Yeah. So that happened.
Oh my goodness.
And then I stayed there for another.
But that's also really good because they saw your worth.
Yes.
From what you were doing, and then they picked you.
Yes.
So okay.
So I stayed there for another 5 years. Worked on the GLA building as GLA is Ghana. It was not Ghana. We're in Ghana. Greater London Authority. So it was for the mayor. That's where the mayor of London actually, his office is. So all the toilets and the lifts in that building was actually my responsibility.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so I was there for 5 years. Was about to have my child, my daughter India. And
so you're working through pregnancy.
I worked through pregnancy.
Now, what was that like? Because I think I recall now watching a movie a while ago, and the lady was an architect, and she was pregnant, and at a certain point, she wasn't allowed to go to the site.
Oh, okay. So mine was different.
Okay.
We ended up actually working in a porter cabin on the site.
Okay.
So it was us, the contractors, the construction team, engineers. The whole team was on the construction site. They wanted us to be right close to the building. And I hope things have changed now. I'm 16, 17 years old. But when I got pregnant, we were coming up to salary reviews, annual reviews. And at first, Foster's it's a bit of it's an excellent firm, huge. But at the time, most of the women there didn't have senior roles. And the ones with senior roles had their kids, and then before had gotten their promotions before they'd had their kids. And I don't know, rightly or wrongly, I thought, okay, I think that the thinking was that if they know you're pregnant, they'll think you won't come back. So they won't give you the salary increase or whatever you deserve, because they'll think if we give you this promotion, you go and have this child, you'll be off for a year, you may decide
basically.
So I actually had my pregnancy for nearly 6 months, and I managed to do that because we were on site. And most of my pregnancy was through winter.
Yeah, but what about the safety and all of that?
Oh, no. I mean, it's, you know what?
And I'm asking you this as well, because there are more male architects than female. And maybe this is one of the reasons as well, that women think about things, even in engineering
that's
and all
true.
that.
I mean, that's fair enough. But for me, it was just, and
they couldn't see that you were pregnant?
No, because I'd get to, all through the winter, so December, January, February, I would get to work in my coat, and my desk was right at the back where all the site jackets were hung. So I'd quickly take my jacket off, my coat off, and put my site jacket on.
Yeah, so they wouldn't see.
Yes, and they'd be like, "Oh, Alice, aren't you warm?" I'm like, "Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm cold. I'm
well,
cold."
Thank God you had a good pregnancy then.
And also, I remember my doctor at the time also saying that you're pregnant, you're not sick. So just listen to your body.
Yes.
I worked up until I think 2 weeks before.
So can I ask if they gave you that promotion or the salary increase?
Well,
and do you think not knowing affected it?
Actually, I didn't get. I mean, I had a salary increase, but it wasn't huge. But soon after I had my daughter, actually during my pregnancy, I actually got. What's the word? Oh God, I've totally gone blank. The word when someone comes to offer you a job, what's the term for?
Poached.
I was poached.
Okay.
So I was. I knew David Adjei socially, and I also used to look up to him. I knew he was friends with my cousin. He was doing.
So you're not
well.
related?
We are not related.
Oh, you're not?
No, you're not at all. No. And he was doing well. He'd set up on his own. He was getting all these projects. And I always used to respect him from a distance. As like I was shy. And then he just called me out of the blue. I remember I was 3 months pregnant then.
And was he practicing in the UK?
He was practicing in the UK.
Okay.
And then he said, he wanted to offer me a job. So, and as you'd say, blessings. And I said, oh, okay, well, thank you, but I'm pregnant now. I'd love to take the job, but I'd rather take my maternity leave in the practice I'm in now. Because I think at that time you were entitled to 6 months or so.
Oh, 6 months?
Yeah. No, 6 months unpaid. No, 6 months paid.
Okay.
Yes. So let me take my maternity leave on their watch. And then I was going to take a year off work, and then when I went back to work, I'd come to you. So it's like, fine, okay, we'll wait for you.
Okay.
So I went off, had my baby. Then they used to keep in touch. They used to update me on the projects they were doing. A year later, they had a project that they wanted me to work on. So I resigned from Foster and Partners and I started off.
Oh wow!
as
Congratulations there.
Yeah.
So then, what brought you back to Ghana?
Yeah, so working with,
now you've set up your own boutique in Mustard.
Yes.
Okay, tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so I was working with David. We started work. I worked for him in the end in London for about 9 years. We started working on projects in Africa.
Okay.
So we did a house for quite a prominent person in Ghana, and then we started a project in Lagos. And on the back of
so they were coming and hiring you from Ghana.
Yes, yes.
To come and do their.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we had some really good supporters who wanted.
Why do you think? Like, what was it? Why were they coming and not like using the local architects? Maybe it's a good opportunity for the architects to learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I mean, I think David had built up this reputation as very good architect. And I think the clients at the time were quite well, they had a lot of knowledge. They were international clients themselves.
Okay.
So this particular prominent, there was a not non-disclosure, but there's confidentiality agreement, so I can't mention.
Yeah, of course.
But internationally acclaimed diplomat, and lived mainly in Switzerland.
Okay.
So I think they wanted a building that would be of international quality in their home.
In their home, okay.
And
they think they thought the local ones wouldn't provide that?
Quite frankly, I'm afraid I'd have to say so.
So knowing that now, does Mustard provide that standard?
Absolutely.
You do?
This is what I am about.
Okay.
And I think...
So what makes Mustard unique?
What makes Mustard unique? There's the best of both worlds.
Okay. And is it more expensive, if I can?
Well, okay. Best of both worlds in that the number of years of training, the people I've learned from, I've worked alongside, and has helped in creating me. And then being in Ghana where there's so much opportunity to also learn. I mean, I'm still learning. You may know a lot about what you did over there, but there's so much more to do here. Even how you relate to the laborer, and also our environment is so different. So the architecture here is actually quite exciting.
Are you mentoring?
I am mentoring.
Are you?
Yes,
okay.
yes. I mean, I have some of my staff who
because I think with all your experience and all that, there's so much that so many women and men as well can learn from, because I mean, you have that exposure as well.
It's interesting because I don't normally label it as mentoring, but I give off. I try. I'm not. What's the word? I'm not precious with my knowledge. I like to share. You know. And also, I mean, I learned from my staff as well because they're very.
So all your staff are locally hired?
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, I've had a couple come through. Okay, they're all locally hired, but a couple have trained. I've done maybe masters abroad, or even those who aren't when born here are of Ghanaian origin. I've got a guy starting in February. He says he's totally excited to join me. His mom's Ghanaian. His mom went to a Brie Girls with my sister. You know. So I get a lot of that. Yeah, but
okay. Now I'm just thinking, you know, you're doing so well, you know, in your industry, and your industry is really known, like it's more male dominated.
Yes, yeah.
Now there's some women doing the same kind of thing, or who want to, but who are sort of maybe a bit intimidated. What word of advice would you have for them? You know, finally, like what can you say to a woman out there, you know, who wants to press on to something that intimidates them a bit?
Do you know what? I think you really need to look deep into yourself. You know, I've seen a lot. I've worked with, you know, big people, small people. I've had moments when you're just working with, I mean, it's about self-confidence. I know sometimes it's easy to say, but you can only do you You know, you
so
can't...
it's about knowing who you are first of all.
Yes.
Okay, then you can give up.
And it's interesting because I recently had this conversation with a friend. It's like, well, actually, what does that mean, knowing yourself? Because I use the same phrase, and it says, what does that actually mean? And when I thought about it, I was like, actually, what does that mean? But I think it's just being comfortable in your skin, that you're not, you know your limits, you know what you're good at. And be true to yourself. Don't pretend to be something else.
You're
I
not.
mean, it sounds like this is like
no, but this is real,
but
because this is what I'm taking from this. Okay, accept yourself, appreciate yourself, love yourself as you are, and then you can be the best of who you are. Basically, thank you so much. Really, I've learned so much from this. Yes. Thank you very much. It's been great having you on.
Thank you.
Yes, and I hope you've learned a whole lot as well. I mean, I'm just so impressed. And now I think I'm seeing architecture in a different light. Seriously, before I really thought it was just what I learned in technical skills and technical drawing. But it's deeper than that, yes. And you're really appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Mabina. I'm a fitness coach by profession. I've been doing this for the past 6 to 7 years. I focus mainly on women, so to say, pregnant women, nursing mothers, and women in general. And I love what I do. It's my personal passion and turned into a business. So every job is like a playground for me. I chose to focus on women because mostly women have a little challenge when they go to the gym, especially when they are not too confident about how they feel or how they look. So when they come into a space where it is women and by a woman, then they can be loose and they can express themselves as much as they want. Today I want us to focus on exercising during pregnancy. Is it safe? Does it help in labor at all? What are the benefits? Are there any disadvantages? Are there any risks with it? And even does it help you post-baby or postpartum? I will use myself as an example today. This is my second pregnancy. I am almost due, and I still work out, and I still hold a class for women who are not pregnant. Yes. I would start with the benefits of exercising when you're pregnant. And the best teacher is your own experience, so I will share mine. I started exercising in my first pregnancy probably around 10 weeks, and I exercised all through till the day before I delivered. And I really enjoyed it. The days when I did not exercise, I did not feel as energized. I did not have a better sleep. I did not, feel comfortable in my body. This is probably due to the fact that it's something I've been doing for a very long time. It could also be that the benefits supersedes, the disadvantages. Let me share a little something with you. You realize that in your first trimester, it is very difficult to sleep for most women because you have hormones all over the place, you have joint pains, you have waist pains, you're tired, you're sick. But even through the nausea, if you're able to go for at least a 20 minutes slow walk, I'm not even talking about a brisk walk, I'm talking about slow walk, you will feel so much better. The sweating, the increased breathing will help you to sleep well. So this is something that you should really consider. Slow walking is safe. You can do it in your background. You don't have to step out of your house. You can do it right in your hall, your sitting area. Just walk up and down. The only thing you have to do is time yourself. So if you keep the time, you set 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you go up and down for 20 minutes in your sitting area. You've done a fantastic job. This will ensure that you sleep well, because sleep is a very challenging thing for pregnant women. And also focus on stretching. Stretching is very important when you're pregnant. All the buttock soreness because you're sleeping on one side for a very long time, all the muscle cramps you get, especially at the back of your legs, all the discomfort in sleeping, all the waist pains, all the back pains you feel, it's because you're not stretching. Stretching allows the muscles to, contract and relax. And as this is happening, it allows it to feel free. It allows it to breathe. But if you don't stretch, and especially from your second trimester when you're supposed to be lying on your right almost all the time in the night, your right buttocks will be sore. You need to stretch it. And as you stretch it, you will feel much, much better. The waist pain will reduce. You will realize that you will sleep well. So someone may ask me, are there any dangers with exercising in pregnancy? The only thing that we have found as a hindrance or a challenge is when your doctor has told you that your pregnancy is a risk one. So if you have a risky pregnancy, your doctor will definitely let you know that you have a risky pregnancy, and so you're supposed to not do a lot of physical activities. Some of us are even told to just bed rest. So if you have a condition like that, please do not go over your doctor's advice. Just do what you're so told to do. Apart from that, you can do any exercises, like I've said, slow walking for 20 to 30 minutes, climb up and down the stairs, not the whole stair, just the first stair, just climb up and down, and you do a fantastic job. Up and down, 20 minutes, you're done. And then stretch. The benefits during labor. When you exercise during labor, it's easier because you would have trained yourself to breathe. And breathing is a very important part of labor. So exercising during pregnancy helps you to have an easier labor, so to say, because your breathing will be fantastic. And this is a personal experience I'm sharing with you. You won't feel as tired. And after pregnancy, that is postpartum, your muscles already know what exercise is. So when you start, it is not so difficult as if you had not done anything at all during your pregnancy. So I'm here to encourage every woman today to consider exercising when they're pregnant. If you if you want to know more, or you want to be secure about the exercises you should do, I am here to help you. You can contact me. My company is Fitvolution, and I am Mabna. I am on Instagram at Fitvolution with Mabna, and you can talk to me anytime. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the Today's Woman Show. We are on every Saturday on TV3 and on DSTV channel 279. It's at 11 a.m. You really cannot miss it. We shot here today at the Kempinski Hotel. And please do follow us on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, TV3 Ghana. And I am Rene Q Boatin. My handle is Rene Q GH. Thank you and see you next week. Have a blessed weekend.